Well, what's up, man? How you doing, dude?
What's going on? We're ready here. Dealing with some technical difficulties, huh? Eric is trying to
Yeah,
join us. We're hoping he gets in at some point.
he's
He's
trying, man. He's trying. I don't. He said he doesn't have. He can't get a connection right now, so we're standing by for our guy Eric. But shoot, it's just you. It might just be you
Here
and
we
me,
go.
man,
Yeah, we'll see.
and the fans, right?
We'll have to get the job done.
We'll have to get the job done. I think he'll figure it out at some point. But anyway, man, welcome to the Hoof Live show. We are back at it again for another week. We are here to bring you some hot takes, some commentary on the game and whatsoever. Just so you guys know, we are on the Cover One Network. If you're here right now, you're in the right place. Cover One is what we get. It's what we do, man. It's how we get down in here, Anthony.
That's
Y'all
right.
already know what's popping in here. It's always popping in Cover One. We got outstanding coverage just about every day, man. Eric is bringing the videos. I mean, Greg and Anthony Quinn, they're killing it, bro.
We got the best lineup out there, man. With the best content you could ask for.
It's very well-rounded, right? Very well-rounded content. I'm gonna fix my lighting a little bit though, so y'all can see my black face. But yeah, dude, it's I can't say I couldn't be any happier, man, with where we are, what we're doing, and we want to thank you all for joining the Hoof Live show. Man, we got so much to talk about, and we'll just go until Eric comes in. But before we even do all that, man, let's give some shout outs. All right. You know, some folks that are already in the house. Look, people are already asking, where's Eric? Gordon, my guy, Gordon Aubrey, he says, where's Eric? Eric is trying to figure out, you know, he just moved back to New York. Right. And he's trying to figure out his network situation. It's, you know, he's getting everything set up from his Wi-Fi to utilities and all that kind of stuff. So he's doing the best he can. He said, you know, if he can get in, he's going to hop in here at any moment. But if not, it's just you, me, and the fans, man. That's what we're going to do.
Let's go.
Milan PSG says, what's good? What's up, my dude? Thank you for watching the show, man, as always. PJ Ty, take it. Hell yeah. Hey, this is the week. If there was any week to take the throne, it is this week.
Let's go,
very
baby.
Important. This is a very important.
Ours for the taking. Ours for the taking.
Ours for the taking. You got Jason M in the house. The name of this stream gets me pumped up with Jason. Welcome back. Welcome back, because it's a jam-packed show. So yeah, absolutely, we're gonna get you pumped up for the show and this week's game for sure. Lamar, what's good? I haven't seen you in here, Lamar. Thank you for watching the show. I feel a great show in the making. You know we're gonna bring it. That's what we do. All right. Oh, Aaron Quinn's up in here. What's up, my G? You got a new little profile pic. Hey, you already know what's happening in here. My boy Greg, take Belichick down. That's the plan.
Go.
Hey, that's the plan. That's what we're trying to do. So you all know how the show works. You know, we always have topics that Anthony and Eric don't see, but they're not in here right now. So hey, man, we might just throw one of the fans in here or something. I don't, you know, anything's up for grabs right now. So, but anyway, I predetermine these topics, and then, you know, we give our take or our commentary on them, and we just flow. We like to have fun. We like to joke. We like to kid around. But without further ado, so I'll be the narrator, and I'll take Eric's spot until he gets in here. But before we do that, smash that like button. Yo, I eat on this, yo. Like, well, not really. I mean, because I find food. Y'all know me. I don't miss no meals around here, but we feed off of this, okay? Look, you gotta like and subscribe to Cover One. You gotta like and subscribe to the Hoof Podcast, to the Hoof Live, man. This is how you get us, bro. We do this for the fans. We do this for you. And we kind of do this for therapy for ourselves, because things get a little cray-cray in our minds from week to week, depending on what's ever going on. But we got a first-time listener in the house, Michael Burks. What's up, my G?
Welcome to the show. Up?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. Welcome to the show. So, all right, here we go. So since we do have, you know, newcomers, first-timers, we have topics. Our first segment of the show is called What's Poppin'. You guys already know. We talk about the latest and the greatest around the NFL. All right. And so, Anthony,
Here we go. What do you
Here
got
we go.
for me?
All right. So the first thing I got for you, man. Odell Beckham. Yeah. Odell out for the season, which is unfortunate. We never want to see a good player go down or any player in the NFL go down with the injury that he had. I think it's a torn ACL. But you hear a lot of chatter around the league, not around the league, but around, the fans talking about, well, was Odell the problem in Cleveland? Baker Mayfield in his absence, because he got hurt on a making a tackle on an interception thrown by yours truly, Baker Mayfield. Baker ended up having 5 touchdown passes in a duel with Joe Burrow hitting Donovan Peoples-Jones, a Michigan guy. You already know what's up. In the corner of the end zone, man, on a great catch, good throw.
That was a great catch. That was a great play, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
To end the game.
And it was clutch. It was clutch. I mean, as much as you and I hate Baker Mayfield, the man, he had a clutch play, man. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, my first thoughts are pump the brakes here, all right? Because who have the Browns played this year, and who have they lost to, and who have they won against? All right. So if we look at the 2 games they lost, they didn't just lose; they got their butts kicked, and it was by the 2 teams in their division, who are both very good teams, obviously, Baltimore and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So those 2 teams wiped the floor with them, embarrassed them, full strength, OBJ or not, right?
Oh, man.
And look at the teams they beat. This is still the Cincinnati Bengals, who had a 4th quarter lead on these Browns, right? I mean, they have no defense to speak of. They're trying to trade anybody who's a warm body at this point. And they have a rookie quarterback who's certainly done his job and certainly looked impressive, regardless of who's out there, and AJ Green at 25% or whatever he's playing. And, I certainly give credit to Burrow, but that defense is nothing. And we expected the Browns and OBJ. And yes, I am a Baker hater, but he had a good game. He threw 5 touchdowns. That's great. But come on, it's against the Cincinnati Bengals, one of the absolute worst rosters in football. No questions asked.
Hey, okay, hold on now, because we can't go. I mean, I understand that we go by, who you play. It's not their fault, right? But this is the NFL, and the margin, there's a lot of parity in this league. So, I mean, I will give him credit, even though you and I equally hate Baker, right? I will give him credit. He played a good game. I mean, he started off really rough. Right? But he did play a good game. So, but it was Odell Beckham the problem, because a lot of people have this idea that Odell has been the problem, and I never really thought of Odell as a problem. I know he's emotional, right? But that doesn't mean you could be emotional and not be a problem, right? So what are your thoughts on the notion that Odell is the problem?
I think that's crazy talk. I think we all know that when he's healthy, OBJ is one of the best receivers in the league, and probably every team out there would love to have him, even though he's somewhat of a diva, even though we've heard of the off the field antics, and maybe he's a wide receiver. They're all divas in some way. I mean, the Bills are lucky in that aspect, but OBJ is still a supremely talented wide receiver that any team would be lucky to have. Now, was there something about his relationship with Baker that somehow affected on the field? They gave no indication of that over the last 2 seasons, at least, that they've been together, neither from OBJ or from Baker, or even in, the media. So to me, this is just something that, observers of the game are watching and saying, oh, OBJ goes out and suddenly Baker throws for 5 touchdowns. So the problem must have been OBJ. That is a correlation that I cannot get on board with, because I don't care what team you are. If OBJ is on the field, you're a better team. Absolutely. So, and there's no way saying getting rid of OBJ suddenly opens things up for Baker. No, they just played clutch in a game they had to play clutch in against a defense that is not that great. So props to him. He had a good game. Baker did, but it has nothing to do with OBJ not being there.
I mean, OBJ he's electric. He's dynamic. I think he's one of the best route runners in the league, especially one of the best rack guys in the game. So anytime you have Odell Beckham on your team, I mean, you're winning. Not saying you're going to score, but you have an asset on that offense. And the fact of the matter is, now that he has an ACL injury, I would probably say he's probably into the midpoint of his career just now. He's still in his prime. How he comes back from that ACL injury is going to be huge. I don't think he's going to be a Cleveland Brown this next year. I really do think that they're going to trade him. And I don't know. Well, from what I can tell is that the chemistry between Baker and Odell hasn't been where it needs to be or what it needs to be. And I think a lot of that is due to Baker's limitations as a quarterback. He's not athletic. He's a marginal arm strength, in my opinion. I don't think he has the strongest arm. Yeah. I mean, but he is accurate. The guy can make some throws. And the fact, riddle me this, Anthony. Did you hear today that the Browns, it's rumored, so guys out there, if you guys know this, but they are rumored to be in trade talks with Minnesota for Adam Thielen.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Really?
So what does that tell you about Baker Mayfield? What does that tell you instantly off top?
Well, I don't know what that tells me about Baker, but I think that's some crazy NFL talk right there. You're telling me that the Vikings are going to move on from their best player right now and start from scratch. See, we get a lot of chatter around the NFL when it comes to the trade deadline, but then it all ends up being just that, chatter, and nobody moves except some, C-list players or whatever. There's not maybe one or two big trades, but certainly not of the magnitude that the talk is. And this year especially, it seems like everybody is out there on the trade market and everybody's talking to everyone about positions that they need. But that would be absolutely crazy to me if Adam Thielen gets traded to the Browns. But it would certainly tell me that maybe it's a personality thing. Obviously, OBJ is a big personality. There's no doubt about that. If he's on your team, he's the biggest star there is on the team.
And so
maybe Baker's saying, oh, I want more of the spotlight, so I'm happier with an Adam Thielen, who's still a great player, but by no means the in the spotlight, big personality type of guy that OBJ is.
Well, what it tells me is they have when you talk about weapons on a team, I would say the Browns are probably top 3 in the league when it comes to weapons. That tells me that they don't have much confidence in Baker, or they know what Baker is. And basically he's a game manager. He's a kind of a point guard. I'm going to get the ball out, and distribute it. But I mean, why do you have to have Kareem Hunt and two really good running backs? And then they went out and got a tight end this offseason. I mean, they're stacked. So the fact that they're, looking at Adam Thielen makes me go, I mean, y'all got enough weapons on offense. Like, why do you need another one? I mean, I guess there's, never enough weapons. Maybe they feel like they're in a win now mode. But anyway, that's something else, man. It's something to monitor for sure.
They have to show that they're legitimate, though. I mean, maybe they're going to beat the teams in front of them. Like you said, that's all you can do, much like the people talked about with the Bills last year. You can only beat the teams you play. And if the Browns end up going 8-8 and getting the last playoff spot, good for them. But they're certainly not built to succeed against good teams, or at least they haven't proven that. Like you said, they have all the stars in the world, 2-star running backs, 2-star wide receivers, one of whom's now injured, 2-star tight ends. I mean, how many offensive weapons do you need? They did rebuild that offensive line a little bit for Baker this year because that seemed to be an issue last year. But to me, Baker's got no excuses. And I said this last year. You have all of those weapons around you. How can you not succeed? Like any other quarterback would probably be doing very well with this team. And let's not, if you've watched Baker play even this season, he's thrown some key interceptions that were huge and turned their games around that, if they weren't up by major points against teams like Dallas and what was another game where they were up by 20, the one pass they did was an interception. And then they decided, okay, we're going to run the ball from now on, because they couldn't trust Baker. And that's not a good position to be in with your starting quarterback.
Absolutely not, man. And speaking of trade rumors, I mean, it's going around. I mean, hell, everybody's up for trade. I mean, there's rumors of Xavier Howard being up for trade. Kyle Rudolph is another guy being up for trade. I mean, Houston, and even in the comment section, Randy Hartman, everybody's for sale in damn Houston. I mean, take them all, right? Except for Deshaun Watson. So, I mean,
Julio Jones has been thrown out there. I mean, like, this crazy talk. Talk.
So, I mean, all I'm saying is, can we get a tight end or some defensive defensive tackle? Give me a cornerback or something. A cheap cornerback. I don't know, man, but it would be nice if the Bills were players. Now, we talked about it on our podcast and our show, but we got a lot of Bills talk to come up, so we'll get to that. But before we do that, man, there's somebody giving you some straight love, dude. Where is he? Randy Hartman, man. He says, thanks for the Twitter support, Anthony. So
anytime, hey, I'll boost you.
Yeah, dude. So he's throwing it out there, man. They're always talking about the suit, bro. So you already know. You get much love for the suit. So it's all good. But hey,
always interact on Twitter. You comment, I'll comment back. We'll get it going. Let's go.
Yeah, and these are our Twitter handles. As you see here, you can always find us on Twitter. And if you're not, if you haven't followed us, go ahead and follow us because we'll follow you back. Our Cover One, what do you call it? Twitter handle as well, because we always follow you back. We love to interact with our fans and so forth. That's any of our guys on our Cover One team. We definitely love to interact. And Greg is probably one of the best followers you're going to get because he's hilarious. Okay, I don't want to say that out loud because his head will get big, but whatever. All right, you ready for the next topic, sir?
Let's go. Where are we at?
All right, here we go. Who's the best team in the AFC right now, and who scares you the most? What do you think? What do you think about that?
Right off the top of my head, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, without a doubt. We talked about this a little bit on our show, our podcast on Friday, our recorded pod. But yeah, to me, it's the Steelers. They faced an undefeated Titans team that beat down the Bills and looked pretty good. We're also undefeated, and they won that game. They did what they had to do. It was a great matchup between those two teams, as expected, I guess. But to me, Pittsburgh is the team who's playing well on defense, doing what they need to do on offense.
Right.
It's almost like it's almost like, to me, they're a team that doesn't do anything amazing. They aren't the best passing team. They aren't the best rushing team. They aren't the best receiving team, whatever. Look at around the positions, but they do everything good to very good, which brings you into that great team range, right? All around. If you're a good defensive team and you're a good offensive team and you can beat other undefeated teams, well, then yes, I'm pretty afraid of that team. That would be the team I'm most scared of at this point. I think, you could argue Kansas City is the defending champs, right? They're the team to beat, but their defense still, to me, is going to be a problem for them. And their offense hasn't exactly been what people thought it would be coming into this season, especially with what we've seen over the last 2 years with that electric, fast-paced offense and Patrick Mahomes lighting everything up. So right now, it's definitely the Pittsburgh Steelers. Maybe that'll change as the season goes on. What I like about the Bills right now and what we've spoken to
Don't you times, even bring up the Bills in this conversation. Don't you even do it.
What I was going to say is, I'm not saying the Bills are there yet, but what I will say about the Bills is they're not playing their best football right now, and they definitely need to improve, and they're definitely trending in the right direction now. They need to get better on defense. They need to get better on offense. We'll dig into that soon. But teams like the Steelers, are they playing at their ceiling now? Is Kansas City playing at their ceiling now? They're certainly closer to it, I think, than the Bills are right now. We know there's plenty of room to improve. So hopefully what we see is those teams kind of level off and the Bills continue to improve so that we can get back to that level of elite defense and power offense. That would be unstoppable.
So I'm going to go with Kansas City as the best team, in the AFC because, look, man, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Yeah. And, Kansas City's still top dog. Now, in terms of matchup-wise, when I look at both of these teams on film, I have a hard time seeing how the Steelers are going to match up with Kansas City's speed, right? I think that will be, with Sammy Watkins back and so forth, I think they're going to have a hard time matching up with their speed. I think the Steelers play great defense, but remember, Devin Bush is out for the season now, and so that's a hole in the middle of that defense, in the front seven. But I do like what Pittsburgh's doing. I still think, and look, I still think the Titans are a better team. I think the Titans are a better team than the Steelers. The Steelers, they were the home team. No, they played in Tennessee. Right? I'm pretty sure they played in Tennessee. And it was a close game. It was a slugfest. I think, you know how like sometimes during the regular season, you know, when let's say, you know, a team beats you, you get into the playoffs, and you see that team again. Usually the team that lost in the regular season usually beats the team in the playoffs. So I think there's some determining factors there. I'm still not a Big Ben fan on the road. Let's not forget who Big Ben is on the road. He notoriously doesn't play his best football on the road. He's shown that as a tendency in the last 3 to 5 years. So excluding last year, obviously, because he was out. So I think the Titans are a better team, but if I had to choose one, I'm going with Kansas City. So I would love to know what you guys in the chat think. They say, Look, Sterling called Anthony.
Whoa! I wasn't putting us in the conversation quite yet.
Hey, I always catch him, bro. It's on a daily, man. He's my guy. Okay, but no, that is a great topic and discussion to get into because you know, at one point in time we did talk about the Bills being one of the best teams in the AFC, but right now we're looking on the outside, looking in, and that's okay because I think the Bills' best football has yet to come. So I'd rather be surging late in the season than surging early in the season, right? So, you know, we'll see what happens. But on to the next, shall we?
What do you got for me? Just
all right, here we go.
I hope it's not Tom Brady because my wife already warned me. She's like, "Uh-oh, if you bring up Tom Brady, am I going to hear you screaming through the walls again?" You
might on this one. Dez Bryant is back, signs with Baltimore, and AB to the Bucks. Right? I mean, you and I, we talked and we thought, you know, it was rumored that
Seattle,
Antonio Brown was going to Seattle. And all of a sudden, he flipped
They were pumping him up, too. They were pumping him up in the public. Maybe that was just to try and lure him in a little bit. They were trying to say, hey, we support you here and we're the environment you want to be in. But I guess not when it came down to it. I don't know.
Right. So, hey, I really like the fact that, and we'll get to AB here in a second. I love the fact that Dez Bryant got a shot. I mean, this is a guy who, you know, he's had his issues over the years, and he had lost a step, but he's been working his butt off. I mean, you see the videos of him working out and getting right. As far as his head goes, he looks healthy. You know, he looks like he's in a great place. Right. Even on Twitter today, he said, you know, he couldn't stop crying because he was like so overjoyed with like, man, I'm back in the league. He's getting another shot. I love it.
It's definitely a feel-good story. You know, here's a guy who was one of, if not the elite wide receiver in the NFL when he was playing, and then dealt with injury, and it completely derailed his career. And he was, you know, first he was relegated to kind of bench and IR, and then they cut him, and then he couldn't get a chance somewhere else, you know. And so for him to come back healthy, that's a feel-good story. And of all the places for him to go, Baltimore seems like a good fit, right?
Right.
They don't have a lot of wide receivers there. They could probably use some help at the position. He's probably going to get a shot at some point. Not saying they're suddenly going to pass to him 20 times a game. That's not happening. And I think he's past that point of his prime of his career. But he definitely deserves a shot to show he's still got it. I mean, if we're still talking about some of these other guys, why can't we put Dez Bryant in the conversation?
Yeah.
I certainly don't think he's going to be the superstar he once was, but it's a feel-good story that he's back and he's going to get a chance to prove that he can still play.
Now, AB, on the other hand, okay, this guy has, I mean, you talk about chances. Hey, the dude had, hey, let me ask you a question, though. Have you ever played around the world on a basketball court?
Yeah.
And it's like you take your chance. If you get the chance, you get to go to the next spot. If you make it, that's AB. AB goes to every spot and he's like, chance. Hey. Golly, boy. Hey, look, I love AB as a football player. He's one of the best football players at wide receiver that you'll ever see, right? In our generation.
Oh, yeah.
But the antics off the field, some of them on the field, I mean, apparently he just loves Tom Brady. He loves Brady. Okay?
Well, yeah, he chose Tampa Bay over Seattle. So, I mean, he clearly made his decision saying, I think this team's better, right? So we'll see if that was the right decision at the end of the season. And yeah, sure, he's gotten to know Tom Brady at least somewhat when they were in New England for a week or whatever it was. But he did throw to him there. So maybe Tom Brady was the deciding factor that lured him in there. And that's still a good team in Tampa Bay. So for him to be added there makes a lot of sense. But I think he would have gotten a lot more reps had he gone to Seattle than he's going to get in Tampa Bay. So I don't know. We'll see. It's quite the balance. You never know with AB, and you can never trust him, right? It's oh, that's a great right there.
Percy
That's
Harvin.
right on point.
Hey, I don't know if there's enough orange juice or damn patent in his helmet so that boy don't get no migraine. That man's Glass Joe. You ever played Mike Tyson's Punch Out? You remember Glass Joe on that mug? You just hit that dude and he just that's Percy Harvin. I did love Percy Harvin. College at Florida, he was awesome. But man, his first 4 or 5 years were great in the league, and then he kind of just injuries, man. It just kind of took him out. But hey, you know what? I'll give Percy Harvin a workout, see what he's got left in the tank. I mean, it was rumored this summer that he was trying to come back into the league.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that COVID that got him in terms of like that money's drying up. But, I would give him a silent tryout just to see what he's got, man. So, yeah, that's a good little question in there. What's the chance of this working? Well, we're talking about Antonio Brown, Michael. I think it's going to work just because, Antonio Brown hasn't played football in pretty much a year, but there's so many weapons on that Tampa Bay offense. He doesn't have to. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I know he broke his fingers. He's going to be out maybe a week or two. But putting AB in this offense is definitely going to help because he's a lethal route runner. He pretty much catches everything that's in his vicinity. So it's gonna help Brady. He's gonna have an immediate hot route. He's gonna know that hot receiver, and you could pretty much throw it to AB anytime. He's just that good. So yeah, I see it working out.
Well,
they're winning. I don't think you're gonna have any diva
we'll
personality.
See, right? Yeah, and that's the number one issue with him. You don't know what's gonna happen with him on the field, but off the field, we should clarify that he is suspended through week 8, so he's not going to show up this week. And then he still has to go through a hearing process with the NFL where they can choose to suspend him longer or reinstate him. So there's still a bit of uncertainty here. He may not even see the field this year, but it seems to be trending in that direction anyway, if the NFL is going to be positive about this. So we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he can play. The NFL is better when a guy like Antonio Brown is on the field.
Absolutely. It is. It's much better. All right, so we're moving on from there. Now we get into the Bills talk, right? And this is the Inside Slant, folks. Here we go. So this is where we talk about all Bills comments, anything Bills related. I have a few things that we'll talk about, but those of you in the chat, feel free to fill it up. I did see some Bill stuff in there already, but we'll kick it off with this. Leftover thoughts on the Jets. Now, the Bills cruised. Should we say cruised? I would say they cruised to an 18-10 victory on the foot of Tyler Bass, right?
Yeah.
We had how many touchdowns do we have called back? One To Gabriel Davis, excuse me.
And then one to Beasley. The set back-to-back touchdown plays called back.
Yeah. So,
and then you had the Croft almost touchdown that he tripped over himself a little bit, and maybe it was Allen's pass wasn't quite on the mark, but either way, it should have been an easy touchdown, and he fell down before he got in. So there was that one too that would have been. But
so looking if you were just to show me the box score and it was like the Bills beat the Jets 18-10, I'd be like, what the. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But it's how they did it is the difference.
I said it going into that game. There was two things I worried about. Number one was our health. We had to come out of there healthy. We had to get healthy. Rest everybody and anybody it took
for sure to
get healthy, right? You need to be healthy going forward. You need to use this game accordingly and just get out with the W. I don't care what happens inside the time. Just be healthy and get the win. And that's exactly what they did. And in fact, there's a lot of positives we can talk about from this game. Definitely the first half. You said cruise to a victory. That's for sure. But the first half, man, everybody was overreacting, right? We were all like, you're losing to the Jets. You are losing to the worst team in football right now. That's unacceptable no matter who's on the field.
Absolutely.
If you were watching the game, the scoring drive that they had, the Jets had the touchdown on. There was 2 pass interference plays that looked like they should not have been called at all, but they were, and they led to the touchdown, and that's fine, and the Bills were down, but it was definitely never panic mode. One of my friends texted me about the line, and he's like, I took the Bills -3. Is that bad? I'm like, You'll be fine. Don't worry. They've had 2 drives. One of them scored because 2 pass interference. The Bills had a turnover in the red zone, which is never good, but it still looked like we were able to drive down the field and do what we needed to do. Bass missed a field goal to start, but then he made 6 of them in between. So, certainly a big day for him. And we did what we had to do. We got out healthy. We got the win. It looks good. And you started trending in the right direction.
So I would say, I think the Bills they left some points on the board for sure.
Certainly.
And I think the problem is, well, one, you don't have John Brown there, but 2, the guard play was atrocious. I mean, Ike Bottker, I didn't even think he was going to make the 53. Okay. Yeah. So you're trolling out there, Ike Bottker. Who in the hell is Ike Bottker? Why you got a name like that, bro? Why you got a name like that? Ike. Your name is Ike. Like Ike and Tina Turner? Like Ike that beats up women?
Are you saying you don't like Ike? Is that
No, hell no. I got a bad taste in my mouth from Ike, Tina Turner, bro. He said, we all know what he did to her. It was just wrong. It was wrong. But he was getting handled, man. He was getting handled. And
his guard partner on the other side, Brian Winters, wasn't exactly helping out either, right? I mean, you're right. It was not good guard play in this game. And actually, I thought Darrell Williams had a rough day as well. So, I mean, it wasn't good for our offensive line altogether. The good news, again, getting healthy, coming into one of the biggest games of the year that we're going to talk about is Feliciano is back today, right? They took him off the IR today. So he's going to be back for this game. And wow, we need him, obviously, as we're talking. The guard play was atrocious.
And it was bad. It was bad.
And he brings an X factor to that offensive line too, right? We knew that from last year that nobody messed with Josh Allen when Feliciano was on the field. That's for sure. So we'll see.
Yes. Spain. Let's call Quentin Spain. Let's see if he'll come back.
And you'll be our starter again.
Hey, if I'm Brandon Bean, I'll be like, bro, listen, Quentin, we just, we screwed up the process on this one. We shouldn't have let you go. They need to bring that man back because look, Winters is trash.
Yeah.
Brian Winters, I mean, I don't want to say he's trash, okay, but as an NFL starting guard, you're not cutting it. I don't want to be mean, right? But you're not cutting it. And it's, I mean, you want to know why the Bills can't run the ball? Well, look at the guard play. And that's just not just this game. You can go back and look, man, we don't have an identity on the offensive line like we did last year. I think last year was predicated on toughness, and doing it that way. But this year, I mean, we don't hear anything about Deion Dawkins because he's playing solid, right?
Yes.
Right tackle is playing solid.
Mm-hmm.
Morris is playing solid. But when you look at the line play as a group, as a collective, it brings down the quality of the O-line when you are susceptible at the guard play. And I mean, the Bills need to use their guards and pulling and trapping and so forth. And they're not able to do that effectively because these guys can't attack defensive linemen because they're just not getting it done.
Right.
And that's a big problem.
And we should clarify a little bit here. Josh Allen didn't get sacked against the Jets. Did not take a sack against the Jets. So it wasn't necessarily them getting to him. It was, they did get the pressure on him. Don't get me wrong. Allen was able to make plays, but it was Allen's ability to make a play out of, rolling out of the pocket and whatnot, but also the run game, right?
Oh, man. Yes.
The run game they're killing. And that is where our offensive line has been the problem, at least in our opinion. And as Eric is saying right here, right, the guards have been a serious problem.
And let me throw my guys some goods over here because I mean everybody knows who Eric Turner is in the community. Mm-hmm. I mean he breaks down film. He's like film Rain Man. Like if you come up and be like, yo, can you get me some I need some information on these run blocking concepts or whatever, dude be like, oh, and it's just like and it's like there. So dude, Eric is killing it with the film review, man. I am learning. I am not as polished as he is or will ever be as he is. But, man, the guard play, as we know, has been horrible. So if you haven't seen any of Eric's stuff on Twitter, or go on our YouTube account and check those things out, you definitely should, because every time you watch, you'll definitely learn something new about the game. Again, this NFL game is a lot of nuances to positions, as I'm learning in the Scouting Academy, and there's more that meets the eye. So it's just good stuff, man. If you guys want to learn and you're into it, definitely go check those out. But yeah, so people in the chat are just talking about, what's going on with this run game. And then before I do that, hey, this is my dude, right? This is my spirit animal right here, Chris Janke. That's our guy, dude. He rides with us whenever, wherever, man. What's up, Chris? But so, yeah, if the Bills want to go where they got to go on offense, it really does start with the line. It really does start with those two guards, and we're getting Feliciano back, which is awesome. That's gonna help so much with just bringing back, because he's the one of the leaders of that offensive line.
Oh yeah,
and he definitely brings that tenacity, that nastiness that we haven't had this season, is definitely going to help, and hopefully that is going to springboard us into running the ball a bit better. Now, this was our best running game this year between Moss and Singletary. They ran the ball well considerably, right?
And a little bit of it was play calling, right? Like when we know the Jets coming into this game, the Jets traded away one of their defensive linemen, and the defensive line was the strength of that Jets team before this. So they traded away one of their defensive linemen. So there's already a little bit of a hole there, even though they're deep at the position. And then one of their defensive linemen gets hurt. And then I'm like, okay, great. The next play should be running right at that spot, right? Run the ball right there. And they didn't. They passed the ball like 5 times after that. And I'm like, hello, they just lost a guy on their D line. You're not running the ball there.
Right.
But, it is what it is. They probably didn't trust the guards at that point. And, we did need Allen to have another 300-yard game to be able to win this. But, yeah, I mean, we got to do better on the line for the run game and for protecting Josh Allen. Because not every team is going to, miss on Josh Allen that many times. So,
yeah. And, people talk about, well, Josh Allen's, pocket awareness is scrambling. Somebody mentioned it in the chat. And I think Josh Allen's pocket awareness is where it needs to be right now.
Yeah,
and he's having to roll out, that's part of Josh Allen. I think you will never take that from him. But the fact that he's getting so much pressure through the middle from those guards, not doing what they're supposed to do, is it kind of hurts his production a little bit. Thank God we have a quarterback that can throw off platform, that can kind of, throw it just with his arm, not with his body, lower body, and so forth, using those mechanics. I do want to see him continue to polish those mechanics, but it does help, that he's so gifted and his arm strength and how he throws the ball. We're lucky there, but I mean, if the Bills, like I said, if the Bills want to make a run in the playoffs, you got to be able to run the ball. You can't just be one-dimensional. We can't just depend on Josh Allen to bail us out every single week now. But that's a story in and of itself that we've harped on a lot this season. But let's go to the next topic here, Anthony. Okay, Dane Jackson. Everybody's talking about Dane Jackson.
Yeah,
flash in the pan or nah?
Ooh, I mean,
what do you think of Dane Jackson?
I mean, he had a hell of a game. I was really impressed. I loved it. Right to start the game, that big, huge breakup pass that totally killed the Jets' momentum and would have hurt the Bills. That was awesome. And everybody's like, who's that? Who's number 30? I'm like, that's Dane Jackson. Woo! All right, let's go. So yeah, he had me hyped. I was loving it, and especially because we've struggled at the cornerback position this year a little bit, right? And we're begging for help there. So for him to come in as a rookie and look pretty good. Now it is against the Jets, so who knows? But it's a great start. It's impressive regardless of what happens next.
Do you see this? Hey, y'all in the chat, y'all come get Tony. Y'all come get this man, okay?
Well,
he probably would be an upgrade over Klein.
I was just about to say, I don't disagree.
He'd probably be a great upgrade over Klein, but it ain't happening. So stop
I don't disagree that Josh Allen could play linebacker better than A.J. Klein at this point, but that ain't going to happen because he's our quarterback and we need to protect him. And one other thing that, since he brought up A.J. Klein, Matt Milano was active for this game, but he was only in there for like 5 to 10 plays. He was not playing every snap. And that was good. I was glad to see that because, again, we needed to stay healthy and get healthy. I would rather have 100% of Milano against the Patriots than 50% of Milano for the Jets and 75% Milano for the Patriots. So hopefully he was obviously healthy enough to be out there. So hopefully that means he's trending in the right direction, getting ready, getting amped up for that Bills game, because we've said it all year long. The defense is better when Matt Milano is out there, period. And certainly the defense is better when AJ Klein is not out there at this point.
So let me give you some not historical background, but some background on Dane Jackson, maybe, and more so Pat Narduzzi, who he played for his defensive. It was his coach at University of Pitt, where he's from. So yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm a big Michigan fan, right? and Pat Narduzzi was the defensive coordinator at Michigan State. They run a lot of so McDermott's defense and Pat Narduzzi's defense. It's the same defense, pretty much. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pat Narduzzi is way more aggressive. He is a very man coverage, aggressive blitzing, but it's the same defensive scheme, right? So at Pitt, they played Dane Jackson a lot of times as a slot cornerback. He kind of floated, in different spots and stuff. And so he's a very aggressive corner. He is he is a poor man's version of Antonio Cromartie. You know how Antonio Cromartie, he would get burnt. He would get burnt a lot of times, but the dude, he's also going to make plays because he likes to jump routes and be aggressive. His instincts, it's hit or miss, right? And that's kind of what Dane Jackson does. Tre'Davious White's not that way. He's a more polished. No, he's a more polished, nuanced cornerback. It's more of a chess game with him. But Dane Jackson's so young, we do need some of that aggression in there. I need somebody that can jump around and so forth. And so
certainly, if you could, Levi Wallace was also activated again today, so we're going to get him back. But he had his struggles out there too. So if somebody like Dane Jackson could come in, even in relief, of some of the other guys and be a playmaker like we saw him on Sunday, that is going to be a huge boost for this team. And if he keeps playing like that, he will start and play over guys like Levi Wallace and maybe even at the nickel spot. So who knows? I mean,
hey, it's his first game. He didn't go against anybody that was like earth moving. But I will tell you this: Cam Lewis does have a wrist injury. I would love to see him play. They activate him. Put Cam Lewis on IR, activate Dane Jackson. That'd be cool. Just see what he's got. What a perfect matchup for Dane Jackson, whether he's cornerback 2 or however McDermott wants to use him, right? To come in and play against the Pats, because the Pats do not have they don't have speed at the wide receiver position. You got Damiere Byrd, and that's pretty much it.
Let's go.
You can use Dane Jackson because he's not extremely gifted athletically. He's average at best. But I would say he's probably slightly better athletically than Josh Norman is at this point in his career. And we don't know when Levi Wallace is getting activated just yet, or the status of those two playing in this game. I think Norman will probably play in this game just due to the fact that it's a big game for the Bills to establish themselves as the king of the East. But I would love to see Dane Jackson play a little bit more. I did like what we saw first game. Got to give him his props as a rookie stepping in, getting the pick. But I liked how he played in coverage. I liked the way he moved his hips. He didn't allow too much separation. He was pretty much there to make plays on the ball and be there on his receiver. So it's encouraging to see, man. It really was a breath
everything
of fresh
we
air.
needed. Yeah, that's right. We talked about how the defense needed to get on the right track and needed somebody to step up and make plays. And Dane Jackson, the rookie, who we probably didn't expect it from, was able to do that. And he energized that defense in a way with his play. Those guys were excited to see him getting in there and making a play, right? And then our defensive line decided to show up in the second half. Like, bam, here they are. Apparently, this is what it took for, the defensive line to show up and start making statements in football games. Maybe the lack of preseason, which we've talked about, really does matter, because here we are 6 games into the season and finally they started playing up to their talent level, I would say. What more of what we would expect from that team, especially against, the Jets, right? Like you should be getting it done versus.
Hold on, let me address this, Eric. Zap? Is that his name? He says we always talk like this about guys who haven't played a lot, and for but the difference is when you watch the film, I can come on here and say whatever the hell I want to say because I'm putting in the work and I'm looking at what these guys are doing, and so hell yeah, when the defense and the cornerback position hasn't shown much progress or a way to make plays on the ball. And we got a Taron Johnson out there who isn't playing up to his, Trey White really isn't. He's battling injuries and so forth. He's not playing well. And God knows we got cornerback too with Levi Wallace and Josh Norman. They definitely are holding the bill. So yeah, when you go back and you watch film, you do see some glimmer of hope. And that's just one game, and it's okay to talk about it for one game. I'm not saying he's going to be damn Darrell Revis.
That's what I was going to say.
Right?
He showed it on the field. He did get it done. So it was still an NFL game. He went out there and he did it. You're right. Maybe we get too excited about these guys when they have good games, but there's nothing saying he's not capable of being a cornerback starter one day. I mean, this is one game. He played well. He proved that he should be on the roster and at least get his shot and made impact plays. So let's continue to give him a chance until he shows otherwise, until he gets burned and looks terrible and is worse than some of the other options we've trotted out there, which at this point he has been better than them. So, you gotta keep him on there.
He looks more comfortable with Cam Lewis, and just because, and he has more familiarity with this defense than some of those other guys that he's playing with because he played in the same scheme. He played in the same scheme in college. So
coaching matters, and if he knows the system, he fits in well. He has a head start.
That's why they drafted him, because it was a similar system and they knew. So there is nothing wrong with that, to be optimistic or excited about a game from a rookie. That's pretty impressive. I don't care who you are, man. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but so I had to address that there, Eric, but I appreciate you watching the show and commenting on it. So now so let's get into the nitty-gritty on this, okay? Can we
There we go. I've been waiting for it. I have been waiting for it. Finally.
What's wrong?
You ready? What's wrong with New England?
What's wrong with them?
I'll tell you exactly.
I got a list of stuff. What's wrong?
Here we go. Ready? What's wrong with the New England Patriots? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. This team is exactly what I said they would be in the preseason. A 6-10 team. They are terrible. They suck. Period. That is who the New England Patriots are. They're going to get a win every now and then. They still have a great coach. But guess what? The coach's ass doesn't go on the field. All right? The coach can't play quarterback. Cam Newton, he's a great player. He's got lots of talent. But what did we say all offseason? He's got nothing around him. Who's his best receiver? One guy? They are who they thought we were. Exactly.
Was that
they are who we thought they were.
Was that 100%?
100%
said that.
Yeah. And we let them off the hook. We better not let them off the hook because they are who we thought they were. And that is exactly what their offense is terrible. They can't get what can they do? Cam Newton can run, right? Cam Newton hasn't thrown the ball accurately. That's for damn sure. He's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns by a mile, right? And that's because he doesn't have the playmakers to throw the ball to. That's because he's had pressure in his face. Yes, it's time, baby. It is time. If you are not hyped as I am right now, you are the one who is wrong. Because I'm telling you, the New England Patriots are a terrible team. And the Buffalo Bills need to. This is 100% a must-win game. Bigger than any game the Buffalo Bills have had in a very long time. All right? This is your chance. You are there. You're 5-2. You're the better team. You're the better roster. We said this last year. They still had Tom Brady. You were there.
Hey, you will not keep talking. You will address this comment because Kathy's up there talking about shut your ass up.
She knew it was coming, though. She's like, who are the Bills playing on Sunday? And I said, the Patriots. And she goes, uh-oh. Yeah, here we go, baby. Because this team is not good. The defense is terrible. Like, come on. Who do you got on defense? Nobody. Everybody's sitting out for COVID. And you've got Stephon Gilmore, who we know is beatable. Stephon Gilmore is better when he has better players around him. That's a fact. But when he's by himself, you can target him. You can throw at him. He's not an elite defender who's going to suddenly break up everything, And who's on the other side at cornerback?
Hold on. Now,
Stephon Gilmore is very beatable, and we know that as Bills fans. All right? Yeah. We saw that at last year.
Okay, John Brown had one catch on that man. He smoked him. Okay. Don't get me wrong.
But then who's going to cover? That's what I'm saying. We're going to be healthy in this game, and who's going to cover either guy? Who's going to cover Diggs or Brown? Tell me. If Brown is healthy and can come back for this game, which we definitely need him to be, who's going to cover him? We'll you don't even need to look at Gilmore. That's my point. He's better when there's better people around him. But fine. You don't want to throw at Gilmore? Don't throw at Gilmore. But if Diggs is on Gilmore, who do you think is going to win down the field? You think Gilmore's breaking something up? You think Gilmore's going to outrun him? No, that's going to be another highlight Diggs touchdown.
You think Jason McCourty is trash?
That whole safety, yes, everybody there is again. He's not individually. He's not a garbage player. Listen. But he's better when there's better players around him. And with everything they've lost, that defense has not been the same this year. Period.
Okay.
Look at San Francisco 49ers some elite offensive team? No, nobody in the NFL would say, you know what team should put up 40 points a week? The San Francisco 49ers. Hey. First of all, they're injured at multiple positions. If they were 100% healthy, nobody in the NFL would pick them to put up 44 points. If somebody said, okay, the line is 40 for the San Francisco 49ers at 100% health, are you taking the over or the under? 100% of people are taking the under. And guess what? They put up 40-plus points in New England against the Patriots, against a Bill Belichick defense. And, come on. Are you kidding me? Jimmy Garoppolo, a quarterback who, by the way, Bill Belichick knows very, very well and usually owns.
Go ahead. I'm gonna fix my light. You go right ahead.
His defense usually owns teams like that, right? And the same thing could be said about Josh Allen. Bill Belichick owns Josh Allen, period. But when that's not the case this year, you don't have the team you used to have. Your defense isn't what it used to be. Period.
Right.
This is a Buffalo Bills game to win, and I don't want them to win it. I'm not talking like I'm talking about the Jets. I don't want an 18-10 score. I want to put up 30 points and do what the freaking 49ers just did to them.
Okay,
I want to see 3 turnovers. I want to see
we can't even run the ball
in Buffalo.
We can't even run the ball.
Who cares? We don't need to run the ball against that team. Beat them. You need to stop the run. That's my number one concern against that team. But if you can do that, they can't do shit. You're good to go.
Is this all emotion right now because you're frustrated?
100%. No, if we run for 20 yards, Josh Allen could throw for 400 and we'll win the game by 30 points.
Hey, listen.
Let's go.
Right, so I got
This is it. There's no excuses. The Bills need to win this game in dominant fashion from start to finish. Every headline the next day should say, Bills control AFC East, period.
Listen, you're getting everybody hype in here. Let's
go.
At this. Look, your wife is like, "Oh my God!" Like
Patriots.
You're sleeping on the couch. Your ass is sleeping on the couch. But let me throw some stuff in here for you though, because here's the thing. So when I look at the matchup here, I always like to look at individual matchups, positional groups, how they match up, and so forth. Right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll agree with you in the sense that the New England front seven is not what it was. I mean, if I were to ask most people out there, can you name 3 people that are in the New England front seven? I don't think that many people can name you 3 players. You can't. I mean, obviously we can, right? But general consensus is most people can't. But this is a team coached by Bill Belichick. Okay. And they are overachieving with the talent they have on that defense. Now they're not great. They're not right. They are playing better with that because he schematically he gets them in place. He gets them what they need to be doing and so forth. Right. So, but the secondary is the strongest point of their roster. That's the strongest position room that they have. And so when I look at the matchup with the Bills, Buffalo cannot come out here and just think we're going to go, 4 or 5 wide and just throw the ball over the yard. It ain't going to happen that way. It's just not. You have to be able to run the football. You have to be able to run the football to keep the defense honest, right?
You should. But you can still.
Absolutely. You definitely need to stretch them out, right? but you're going to have to mix in, you're going to have to have
and Josh Allen's going to run in this game again. He will. I guarantee you he's going to have some rushing plays himself. Roll out. Great. Go 5 wide. Go ahead. Let Josh Allen run for 20 yards because he's going to do it.
The running backs need to average probably 4.5 yards a carry. That's the
baseline
for the running backs. And that's not asking a lot.
No.
John Feliciano coming in will definitely help that statistic improve. But let's talk about let's start with the offense here. I got some offensive nuggets for you guys at home, and for Anthony, for you to
PJ's making me laugh. Right?
Hey, PJ's on one tonight, dude. I love it.
Pets make Anthony really want to shout. You're damn right. The time has come. All right, we've suffered enough.
All right, so they did get David Andrews back on the offensive line last week, and Joe Thuney played 27 snaps. I think he was on like a pitch count. I don't know what his status is for this weekend, right? But the Pats DVOA, okay, they're 25th in the league, right?
Ooh.
25th. Now they do have like the 7th best rushing attack in the NFL. So that's Cam and the mix of the running backs.
Yes,
right.
They have 12 running backs there. We know that they can all run the ball.
We know New England runs the ball, but what I really want to spotlight on is this passing offense of Cam Newton. Okay, so.
Lack thereof.
When I tell you that Dwayne Haskins has a better statistical output than Cam Newton, that's facts. And y'all can look that up. That my friend is facts. Dwayne Haskins has a better statistical output than Cam Newton right now.
That's my favorite stat right now.
That's rough. Okay, that's rough. My boy Cam Newton has 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He is a leading rusher. And he's the leading passer with 969 yards or something like that. His completed air yards is 5.6 yards per attempt. That's bottom third in the league. Okay. This Patriots offense has 11 offensive touchdowns to date. 11
total.
That's
not a lot.
Total. They have 13 total touchdowns, 2 by the defense.
Oh, wow.
That's not a lot.
They're not getting it done. Not getting it done.
That's bad. That's very bad. They are 26 of 67 on third downs. That's not good. They have 3 passing touchdowns on the year. Okay. Now, some things that I noticed in the game on Sunday, Cam Newton, and I have, and those of you, I'm telling you, I could take a snapshot and put this on Twitter in my notes, and I'll put the timestamp on if you want to see it. But even before the media came out, was like Cam Newton's not throwing to the right. I made a note that says Cam Newton is just throwing to the left or in the middle. And of 3 throws in the first half, he had to the left. 1 was intercepted, and 2 were bad throws. They were they're short hopped. Okay, that is a major problem that you're not leaving. Acknowledging what's right on the right-hand side, really, but you're only throwing left. Is it an injury issue? Is it schematic? Now, Josh McDaniels is a damn good coordinator. So what's the holdup? I love Cam the person, but Cam the football player, he ain't bringing it this year. And I don't care what nobody says. He ain't doing it this year.
And that's the thing. He's certainly, as far as we know, he's healthy. We're not, other than dealing with COVID, which was a problem for him, and he was out. He's come back. He wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire before COVID with his feet a little bit, but certainly not with his arm. As you said, only 3 passing touchdowns. I'm telling you, man, it's time. And this team is exactly who we thought they were. They cannot pass the ball. They have no receivers. Cam Newton can't get it done by himself. And I think that's the real problem for this team, right? And the offensive line isn't doing him any favors. In the games I've watched this year of New England, there's a lot of guys chasing after Cam Newton, and he's got to throw the ball on the run or throw it away. And he's not Josh Allen anymore. He certainly can't make those every time.
So he says, so what you're saying is that Taron Johnson should cover the wide receiver on the right. You know what? You know what?
He should be on the way right.
Hey, throw Trent Murphy's ass in there too, because he ain't doing shit either, right? It just, just get over there, right? But yeah, absolutely. I mean, this Patriots offense is it struggles, man. And also the Patriots have not scored more than 7 points in the first quarter total.
Oh, all year. Wow.
All year.
That's a huge stat. I like that one too. So what
They
you're saying is we hope we defer the ball to them to start the game.
Yeah, they have 3 games without a first half touchdown. 3 games without a first half touchdown. That's not good. That is not good. And the reason why I'm like pouring on these guys right now, because it feels so damn good to just be like, yo, the Patriots, yo, shit stank too. Hey,
yeah, well, here we go.
Listen, their shit stinks too. And it's good. It feels so good. And I'm such a fanboy right now, right?
So not only are the Patriots bad, and we know that, we just explained, their defense is not what it used to be. It's very beatable. Just gave up 44 points to the 49ers injured. So and now look, their offense certainly can't get it done. They have no weapons. They don't have Tom Brady anymore. But the Bills, we talk about our Bills. We're getting healthy. We're getting better. If John Brown plays this game, if Matt Milano is 100% for this game, our defense is going to light it up. The defensive line finally started clicking at the end of the Jets game, as we said. If they can take that momentum into this game against another terrible offensive team, as you just said, that hasn't scored a touchdown in the first half, this is going to be a blowout, and it should be.
Well, I'm not going to go that far yet, but hold on. Gordon says, Sterling, where's your suit, bro? I can't pull it off like Anthony does, man. You probably wouldn't find one in my size. I mean, I'm a big guy, right? I'm a man. Anthony's a little boy over there. Okay?
Gotta custom make it. Gotta custom
make that thing, man. That's a lot
42
of material,
regular.
bro.
42 regular. That's not bad.
I don't have a suit, man. But Anthony, to your point, saying the Bills are going to blow them out, I don't know, because listen, we still have an issue here. We still have an issue, and let me explain this before people just start jumping all over me. I think there's a thing with Josh Allen, not in necessarily big games, but in big games, like this game right here, like the Kansas City game, like the Tennessee game. Like I think he needs to get over the hump of this thing.
Has Josh Allen ever played a big game against a bad team? No. You can't. I don't think we can. I agree with you. Right. He's never played down to his opponent, is my point. His opponent was good, and they played better than he did in some of these games. Yes, certainly with the Patriots. But that's not the case right now. The only reason this is a big game for the Bills is because this is a must-win. We need to take charge of the division. The opportunity is there for us.
For sure.
This is not a big game in any other sense of the word. This is one of the worst teams we've played this year.
Right. So but you got to look at it from a point of view that, like, take away the X's and O's and look at it from a psychological point of view.
Certainly.
New England they're on top of the mountain where the Bills, well, most people are expecting the Bills to be, but it's a mental hurdle because Josh Allen hasn't broken through that yet, and he has to do that. So how do they do that, right? Well, I think you got to start Josh Allen off with simple concepts, quick passes to get him involved in the game, give him a quarterback run, a little sweep so he can get the bugs out, right? When we've seen Brian Dable and Josh Allen in these types of games, Josh Allen wants to take the kill shot first. We don't need the kill shot. I need you to move the ball down the field safely.
Certainly.
Right?
I don't think they need to change the game plan, though. I don't think they need to change
anything. But they need to change the mindset. You're not going to come out here bombs away on New England. It's not going to happen.
You shouldn't. That shouldn't be the game plan, right? So hopefully you come in with a game plan against this team that works, right? And you're able to get that momentum going early, because you certainly shouldn't come out thinking you're going to, attack these cornerbacks all day long and that's your game plan. You're hoping you can establish the run and open up with the pass.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need balance in that area, but I want to see Josh, like he did last week, take what the defense is giving you. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of man coverage from Bill Belichick, because they do have the wide receivers. I mean, they do have the cornerbacks that kind of pull that off. But you're going to see some zone looks where he's going to try to confuse Josh. Last year, we saw a lot of cover one safety over top, right, kind of mixed zone coverage. They want to make Josh Allen make a quick decision. They're going to send the blitz. They're going to make Josh Allen make the quick decision. Here's the key to that. Cole Beasley needs 10 targets.
Love it.
At least 10 targets.
Look what he did in this last game.
He's got to have 10 targets. his targets have been going up each and every game for the last 3 weeks. He needs 10 targets, right? You get Cole Beasley going, it's gonna benefit the offense. John Brown, I believe, will be back this week. That's just my speculation. I have no sources
I certainly
to say.
hope so.
But I think that you know how McDermott is. They sit their players,
right.
and then when the big games come, this is a big game. Whether you know the Patriots are 2-4 or 4-2, this is a big psychological game for this Buffalo team and Josh Allen.
Certainly.
So you need John Brown. You definitely need John Brown to take the top off the defense. That's the missing element in our offense. John Feliciano at guard is gonna be a big help
Huge
for that.
Return. Mm-hmm.
Another key to the game: Josh Allen has to trust his eyes. He has to trust his eyes. He has to know where his quick out is, right? He's got to get the ball out quick because they're going to send pressure, right? He has to trust what he's seeing. And he's been doing a really good job of that.
Yes, he's certainly been playing that well, very well with that. Getting out of the pocket when he needs to, staying in it when he can, finding the open guy. You know, he's certainly been a lot better back there this year in the pocket, making those decisions with pressure than he has in the past.
Yeah, and he's progressing in that area, so that's really cool to see. So the 49ers use a lot of misdirection, jet sweep actions. We see the jet sweep concepts in our
Certainly
offense.
We have that, yeah.
You know, we need to see pulling guards if they can get their head out of their ass. We need to see some action that way. But so San Francisco used their run game. It was so balanced how they ran the ball. And they were just shoving it down the throat. Now, they do have a better offensive line than we do, right? But I think as far as running backs are concerned, I think the Bills have better running backs.
Certainly.
So they should be able to Brian Daboll has to be able to scheme a run game correctly this week. It's vital to the success of this Bills team this week. If you cannot run the ball, you're going to have a hard time because the strength of that defense is a secondary. And Josh can't force throws because this is a defense that will pick you off. J.C. Jackson has 3 picks. Stephon Gilmore, we know he can get around the ball.
I certainly agree with you there.
Right.
He has to make the right decisions in this game,
Absolutely.
Right? He can't make a lot of bone. He certainly hasn't been doing that this year. I mean, he had 1 bad interception, right? The other 2 don't really count, but 1 was a terrible throw and it went to the wrong place and wide open interception. So he can't make plays like that. He can't try to force it by any means, but I don't think he's going to need to against this defense. It should be pretty smooth sailing for the most part, kind of like it was for the Jets. Maybe they won't score a touchdown every drive, but there's going to be somebody open. There's going to be a play available for you as long as the offensive line can do its job. And we know they should be better now that Feliciano is out there. We know the offense is going to be more of a threat if John Brown is out there, which we're expecting at this point. And I don't even think there needs to be pressure on the offense. Say he does come out jittery and they end up punting a couple of times. Well, that puts the ball in the hands of our defense, which I actually think is an advantage in this game. Because again, Cam Newton certainly doesn't have the confidence right now. So, you know, they're going to try and run the ball down our throats. You have to be ready for that. The D-line has to be ready for that. Stop the run because they've got 10 different guys who can run the ball. And if you can do that and put the ball in Cam Newton's hands and make him throw it, somebody's going to get an interception. Milano's back for this game, and he plays more snaps. If, you know, Tremaine Edmonds is 1 game healthier, Trey White is a little bit healthier, I'm telling you, this defense is going to step up big in this game, and we need them to.
This is and speaking of defense, this is probably the best game I've seen Jerry Hughes play in years.
Beautiful.
Probably.
Yes.
I mean, he played a good game against Houston in the playoff game, but I think what he did this Sunday was better than that even. You know, he really, maybe he was listening to us, how we were calling him a little bit selfish and how he was losing contain, but he did do a good job of that this week. And having Cam Newton at quarterback, you definitely cannot afford to lose contain.
Certainly.
Because Cam, if we could talk about one thing Cam does well, that's run the ball.
Absolutely.
He really does run the ball very well. And if he can do that effectively, it's going to open up their pass game, right? That they don't have any speed at the wide receiver position, like we mentioned earlier. So you know, the Bills can kind of hunker down defensively on the back end because, you know, now McDermott can do, you know, what he wants to do back there schematically because he doesn't have to worry about someone taking the top off the defense. Like we saw a lot of cover 2, you know, some quarters concepts when they played the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, this is a completely different offense. So you have a way to put more guys in the box and control the run game.
That's what I was going to say. You can bring more pressure here too, right? You can do a safety blitz a couple of times in this game. It's been very effective for the Bills when they've done it, So I think Poyer has more sacks than most of the D-line at this point. But so that's going to be something to look out for. You got to bring the pressure, and because one-on-one, you're pretty comfortable with the receivers against our cornerbacks and having one safety back or whatever it may be, or bringing the linebackers, right? Bring them on a blitz, keep the safeties back. And you trust your guys to be able to beat. They're better players than those players on offense. That's as simple as it is.
So we got about 10 minutes left on the show tonight. I want to, before we continue on, Anthony, check this out, man. He says, this is Sonny Lamont. It says, hello, boys. Hello, Bills Mafia. Tuning in from Alaska.
Nice.
Dane Jackson, the next great cornerback for us. Hey, let's go Buffalo. Well, hey,
he's certainly in the right direction. All right.
We'll see. I don't know, man. That was one game. I mean, it's cool. Hell, at this point, we just need bodies at cornerback that can actually be competent and play. Dane showed some good things. We'll see what he has to do, moving forward. Hell, hopefully they even bring him up so he could be on the active 53-man roster for 3 weeks. So we'll see. But our Robbie's in the house. Let's talk
Robbie.
sports. Robbie's our guy, man. Robbie's a cool dude, man. If you guys haven't checked out his podcast, Let's Talk 716 Sports, man, by all means do so. But again, this is the Cover One Network, right? And this is what we do. All right. We got heavy hitters over here, man. And it's popping every single day. Okay. You get it all here. If you want a little bit more in-depth, conversation or film watch and kind of learning about the nuances of the position in the game. This is what we do, right? We fill you up on the entertainment side, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on our show. We got our guy Anthony with this guy's coverage. I mean, that's a great show to watch. Anthony is solo and he does a fantastic job.
He does. We
got our pregame show. Okay. Our pregame show, Greg Thompson, Anthony Quinn is dope. Those guys really do a damn
too
good
many
job.
A names.
Hey, I know. I'd be forgetting.
Called him Anthony.
Hey, Ron. I mean,
Anthony Prohaska, Anthony Romeo, Aaron Quinn.
Yeah. So anyway, man, so back at it. So, this is the Hoof podcast. This is the Hoof Live. Our live show is on Tuesday nights. We do put this up in podcast form, and then we drop another one on Friday. It's our more in-depth coverage, and looking forward to this coming week's game. But since it's New England, we kind of went into that a little bit, but we'll go more in-depth on Friday for you guys.
There's more coming. Trust me. I'm bringing the heat again. Let's go.
Hey, we're bringing it. Michael Burke says, your thoughts on Epinesa? Epinesa, in my opinion, he's improving week to week. I'm still not a fan of the pick, honestly. I think the Bills, honestly, they should have went and got a cornerback in the second round. I don't want to hear, they should have got Chase Claypool. Okay, whatever. But they needed help at linebacker. They needed help at cornerback. And but Brandon Beane's the GM, not me. But he felt like he needed to bring in AJ Epinesa. I hope that he continues to improve.
Yeah, I was going to say, Epinesa is a rookie. He's a second rounder, but still he's got all the talent in the world. He's looking better. He's improving every game. So I'm excited for that alone, right? Let's see him continue to grow. And by the end of the season, he could be a bona fide starter for this team. Who knows? So let's hope that's continuing the growth that we see, right? Give him more snaps, let him get more growth. He was in there on at least half a sack, I think, right? So
yeah,
we'll see if he can continue that to get the pressure. That's what we got him for.
As a second round pick, I need you. And maybe this is a mindset change. Back when we used to say we needed our first 3 picks to be starters, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The Bills roster is filling up. Or filling out in terms of you don't have a lot of holes.
Epinesa wasn't even active for the first couple of games, right? So
pre-draft.
I think they want him to they want to bring him in slowly as McBean has shown and McDermott have shown together, right? Bean and McDermott, they like to slowly work in these rookies. They did it even with Ed Oliver, even though he was the number 3 overall pick, right? They slowly kind of worked him in, and then he proved he could do it, and they're like, all right, you're the starter, here we go. It happened a little quicker with Ed Oliver, but if Epinesa can be on that same level of let's give you more snaps, let's test you in bigger situations, let's see what you can do, and he continues to step up, there's no reason he can't be the guy by the end of the year.
Well, hey, we'll see. I mean, he's definitely better than Trent Murphy is right now.
Oh, God. Don't get me started.
But yeah, so let's see. Let's go ahead and go to the last one here. What's the take? What's the take is where you, the fans, talk to us about, things you have questions about. You want to give your prediction for this week's game and so forth. We always love to interact, and this is what's the take. So, Anthony, what's the take? It's one of my favorite segments because, you just kind of get the freelance here. We're going to start with Tristan Cano. Says, do we need another one tech like Star? Well, do we need one? Absolutely. We do need a one tech. Anthony, what are your thoughts on one tech defensive tackle?
Need is a very strong word. Want is 100%. I want a one tech D lineman. That would be great. I think that would help this team a lot. But we've already invested so much money in this defensive line. Somebody's got to step up. I mean, can we trade Trent Murphy for somebody? That'd be great. Please take this bag of beans and give us something that works, right? I'll gladly trade for a guy who can fill that role. Even if it's somebody who's, more mediocre right now with the team they're on. The Bills just need to make a change, bring an impact, find some huge ass dude who could come in and plug a hole, right? So
yeah,
that's what Star
really
was for us, right? So we'll see. It would be nice. Need is a very strong word. It would certainly raise my confidence. Let's put it that way.
It definitely would help. And you know what? Adding a true one tech defensive tackle would elevate the play of Ed Oliver. I mean, right. Ed Oliver is falling his ass off right now, y'all. Yeah. I mean, you go back and watch the film, this dude is eating people up. I mean, I'm telling you, man, you put a real one tech next to Ed Oliver. Like, I mean, if the Bills could just send the Giants a 4th or 5th round pick for Dalvin Tomlinson, that would be like an answer to prayer. Like, God is just giving us everything we need, right? Because we just need some solutions there. Help in the run defense. It definitely would help in a lot of places, man. So absolutely, to answer your question, hell yeah, we would love to see the Bills be active and looking at a one tech defensive tackle. I don't know how active the Bills are going to be with this trade deadline and all these rumors coming up. I think it comes next week.
November 3rd,
November 3rd. So I mean, don't be looking for the Bills to make a move. Honestly, I feel like Brandon Beane's happy with what they have. Now we did see them look at Le'Veon Bell and being the last talks of that or whatever, but
free agent though, not a trade.
Right, not a trade. So we'll see. I think there's things that they can do. Quentin Williams is not for trade. Okay, he is not being traded.
Not Jets to the Bills stupid. Anyway. He might be traded. They are dumb enough to trade him.
The Jets are stupid, but are they that stupid?
They're not going to trade him to Buffalo.
I don't think you got to be that stupid. But Quentin Williams will be a great addition, but it's not going to happen, y'all. Not going to happen. But so before we hop off here, man, go ahead, give me your prediction for Sunday's game. Realistic prediction, okay? Realistic.
You're asking me, or you want them to chime in?
You
want me to chime in?
I want you.
My realistic score for this game is 34-3. I don't want them to score a touchdown. I don't think they have any right to score a touchdown, and I don't see them stopping our offense from just getting the job done. And I'll even add this bold prediction: defensive touchdown.
Man, we ain't seen a defensive touchdown. When was the last? Can someone tell me? Look this up. When was the last time the Bills scored a defensive touchdown?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't think they had one last year.
Nope.
So it's been at least that long. So
I can't remember the last defensive touchdown we had.
We're not really a defensive touchdown kind of team, but it's going to happen in this game. I honestly think it'll probably happen when Cam is under pressure and it's a big moment. He's been folding in those moments, and it's going to be a pick six.
Hey,
touchdown for the defense, 34-3. Bills.
Cam's struggling. So 34-3. Man, I'm going to go 27-21 Bills. I think it's going to and only reason I say that is because, man, Bill Belichick and these Patriots have had the Bills number for so many years. I mean, emotionally,
it's 2020.
Psychologically, there's a lot that
whole
goes
new
into
year.
that, not just X's and O's, man. And I'm going on record to say the Bills will beat the Patriots, but I think it could be a little bit closer than what we're expecting. That's just my prediction.
How are they going to score 21 points?
Shit.
Rushing?
Well, okay.
All day they're going to.
You remember when they played us in Orchard Park last year? They blocked the punt for a touchdown.
That's true.
Right?
They got every.
They get every freaking call. They get. I mean, bro.
Not so much this year though. I don't know.
They are still. Referees will still be biased towards the New England Patriots just because of who they are and what they've done previously.
Look what they did to the Bills against the Jets. I talked about it earlier. Those 2 pass interference calls were absolute bull crap. I mean, they were not even like the guy barely got touched, and it's like, what? You calling pass interference on that?
My dude, Brian, what's up, my G? That's my guy right there, dude. Brian Bowers always keeping it real. What's up, my dude? And we almost out of here, Brian. You done missed the show, but y'all, for those of you who want to send our show out. We're always on YouTube. It's on YouTube, okay, and it'll be up on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast from. You can watch our show. Listen to it on the way to work. Hell, listen to it while you're taking a little dump, getting rid. And the wife and the kids are driving you crazy. You can listen to us, man.
We call that taking a Patriot this week. Yeah, that's taking a Patriot.
Fair enough. But hey, this is the Hoof Live, man, and this week. We are dethroning what we call the New England Patriots. They are coming off that damn pedestal. Yes, they are 2-4. Yes, we have a better record than they do right now. But we're going to stick our foot in their ass. We get them up out of here. They're gone. We got to get them up out of here. It's time to exhale the demons, baby. Hey, they got to go. The Bills got to win this game. No freaking doubt about it.
Win. 100%. Must-win game. For the season. If you don't win this game, you're a joke, and you'll hear me coming on the show saying that.
I don't want to say all that now. I don't want to say they're a joke.
Oh, you can't beat a good team. You can't even beat a bad team. It's one thing to say you lose to the Titans in Kansas City. Those are 2 damn good teams that were in the AFC Championship. You lose to this Patriots team, a must-win game that you need to take to prove that you can be in charge of your division, and you lose that game. When they're reeling and they're as bad as they are,
we just can't have a mental lapse. We just can't have a mental lapse. That's all. You can't lose. You got to be on point. And God willing, McDermott has these guys on point, ready to go. Get some guys from injury back on, and I think it's a recipe for success, man. Coburn King, what's good, bro? He says 33-3 against the Patriots. Why I know the Pats got blown out by the 49ers. The Bills didn't even get in the red zone against the Jets. Well, we did get in the red zone, but we just couldn't get in the end zone. But that's going to change. Luciano's back. I think the running game will be slightly better.
That's what I was preaching all last week. The team you saw on Sunday, the team that played the Jets, is not the same team that's playing on Sunday against the Patriots. It's not. This is a totally different team. That Jets game was one game to get healthy, do what you got to do, start trending in the right direction. Now they show up to play. Now everybody's ready to go. Milano's playing. Yeah. Brown is playing. This offense is going to look different. Everything, that offensive line, we've already talked about it the whole show. This is not the same team you just saw versus the Jets. So anybody who says, you couldn't score versus the Jets doesn't know shit about football, because that is not the game. That is not this Buffalo Bills team. And if you watch the game, you would have understood that they could have scored multiple times and it was taken away. But this is not the same team. It's going to be a beatdown versus this New England Patriot team. How many times did the Patriots score in this last game? How many times did they get in the red zone in their last game? I know the 49ers defense is supposedly pretty well. They're playing pretty well now, but they weren't to begin the season. The Bills are in the same boat. Yeah. Let's go.
Got to go, man. We got to go. So, hey, we got to dethrone the Patriots, man. We got to take that crown like Thomas Burke says. We got to take it. We got to take it. So anyway, guys, man, thank you so much for tuning in. Eric will be back with us next week, but we want to thank all of you guys, man. Like and subscribe. Hoof that like. Please hoof that like. And we're going to be back at it next week with another episode of the Hoof Live. So, man, you guys have a great week out there. Stay safe. Stay safe wherever you are, man.
Have a great holiday, Halloween.
Halloween. Be safe.
My personal favorite holiday. I know this year it's a lot different. Just remember, make good decisions, stay safe. I know my wife and I, we have 2 costumes we're doing this weekend, and we're doing it all virtually. So we're going to still get to see our friends and everything, but it's a little bit different this year, and that's fine. So stay safe out there. Have fun.
All right, guys, we out of here. Peace.
Go Bills.